Hello, everyone. I am Elena, your host for today's lesson. If this is your first time joining us, I want to share some exciting news. We publish a new English learning video every single day, designed to help you master the language faster and with total confidence. In today's episode, you are going to do more than just listen. You are going to actively transform your speaking skills. Today's lesson is a comprehensive 30-day English fluency roadmap. It is crafted to help you speak English clearly, confidently, and naturally in just 1 month. We will walk through real-world practice drills and guided exercises that will help you understand the rhythm of natural English, improve your sentence flow, and pick up powerful expressions to make your speech sound effortless. Whether you are introducing yourself to a new colleague, having a casual chat with a friend, or explaining a complex idea in detail, you will learn exactly how to think in English and speak without hesitation. By the end of this video, you will feel a surge of confidence in your conversation skills, and you will have a step-by-step plan to follow every single day for the next month to see real, tangible results. Before we dive in, please make sure to subscribe to English in Moments and press the bell icon so you never miss any of our helpful lessons. So, grab your notebook and a pen, and let's get started. When you think about becoming fluent in English in just 30 days, it might feel like a giant obstacle to overcome, something only highly advanced students can achieve. But the truth is, fluency is not about memorizing thousands of new vocabulary words in a short period. It is about using the words you already know in the correct way, with the right rhythm and the right self-assurance. Today, I am going to guide you step by step so you can train your brain, your mouth, and your ears to work in harmony every single day for the next month. You will be surprised at how much progress you can make. Let's start with a crucial concept. Many learners believe that fluency means speaking as fast as a native speaker, but that is a misconception. Fluency is about speaking smoothly without long, awkward pauses and without struggling to find the right words. It is about expressing your thoughts clearly, even if you speak at a moderate, slow pace. So, in this roadmap, we are going to focus on clarity, flow, and confidence, not speed. Speed will come naturally as your comfort level grows. Now, I want you to visualize a simple daily routine that we will use for our first exercise. You wake up in the morning, you brush your teeth, you make your coffee, you get dressed for the day ahead. These moments might seem mundane, but they are the perfect opportunity to practice English in real time. Instead of doing these actions in silence, speak to yourself in English. For example, as you pour milk into a mug, you can say, "I am pouring some milk. It looks creamy." This might sound too basic, but speaking about what you are doing in the moment trains your brain to connect actions with English words instantly. Let's try this together. I will say a sentence, and I want you to repeat it immediately after me. Ready? I am buttoning my shirt. Now, a bit faster. I'm buttoning my shirt. Do you hear the difference in the rhythm? This is how we move from slow, clear English to more natural, connected speech. Every day, I want you to choose at least 5 simple actions and describe them out loud in English as you do them. Another key to achieving fluency in 30 days is daily listening practice. But here is the secret. You should listen actively, not passively. That means instead of just hearing the words in the background, you focus on the pronunciation, the intonation, and the pauses. For example, if I say, "Could you please hand me the sugar?" Listen to the way my voice rises on "could you" and falls gently at the end. Now repeat. "Could you please hand me the sugar?" Good. The more you notice these melodic patterns, the easier it will be for you to sound natural when you speak. We are also going to work on a technique called echoing. This means listening to a sentence in English and repeating it immediately, trying to match the tone, speed, and pronunciation as closely as possible. Let's do a quick echoing drill. I will say the sentence slowly, then at a normal speed, and you follow along. I am driving to the store to buy some bread. Slowly. I am driving to the store to buy some bread. Now, normally. I'm driving to the store to buy some bread. This exercise trains your mouth to copy natural English sounds. Here is your first challenge for today. For the next hour, I want you to think in English as much as possible. When you look around, name the objects you see. When you plan your next task, say it in your mind or out loud if you can. Even if your sentences are short, it is fine. The goal is to keep the English channel in your brain open so that it becomes your default language during the day. And remember, mistakes are not your enemy. In fact, they are your best teacher. The only way to avoid mistakes completely is to stay silent. But silence will never make you fluent. Every time you speak, you give yourself an opportunity to improve. So, for these 30 days, speak as much as you can. Even if you are not 100% sure, confidence grows when you practice without fear. Let's do one more speaking drill together before we move on. I will give you a short conversation, and you repeat after me, keeping the same tone and speed. Hello, how are you feeling today? I'm feeling great, thank you. And you? I'm wonderful, thanks for asking. This type of short, friendly exchange is the foundation of natural conversation. The more you practice it, the more automatic it becomes. Now, let's take your practice a little deeper. Speaking fluently isn't just about reacting in the moment. It is also about being prepared. And one of the best ways to prepare is by having ready-to-use sentences stored in your mind. These are sentences you have practiced so many times that they roll off your tongue without thinking. For example, "Can you help me with this?" Or, "I am not sure I understand. Could you explain that again?" If you practice these ready-made sentences daily, you will find that in real conversations, you respond much faster and with more confidence. Let's try a small set together. Repeat after me. Could you tell me how to get to the library? Again. Could you tell me how to get to the library? Now, a bit faster and more naturally. Could you tell me how to get to the library? Good. Now another one. I didn't hear that. Could you say it one more time? Repeat. I didn't hear that. Could you say it one more time? Now faster. I didn't hear that. Could you say it one more time? When you train with these patterns, you are building muscle memory for speaking. Just like athletes train their bodies to move automatically, you are training your mouth to speak English without delay. The next thing we are going to focus on is describing things around you. This is a very powerful habit because it forces your brain to connect real objects and situations with English words in real time. For example, if you are at a train station, you might say to yourself, "There is a blue train arriving on the platform. It is stopping to pick up commuters. People are getting on and off quickly." By doing this, you are practicing observation, vocabulary, and sentence building all at once. Let's do a guided description exercise together. I will describe something and you repeat. Imagine you are in your bathroom. There is a mirror above the sink. The water is running from the tap. Steam is rising from the hot water. I can hear the splashing sound. Now, think of your own bathroom. Look around and describe 3 objects you see. You can start with, "There is," "I see," or "I'm looking at." Speak them out loud if you can. Another way to speed up your fluency in 30 days is to connect new vocabulary with something personal. This way, you will remember it faster and use it more often. For example, if you learn the word frustrated, do not just think of the dictionary meaning. Connect it to a memory. Maybe the time you got stuck in heavy traffic. You could say, "I was frustrated when I sat in the car for 2 hours and couldn't move." Personal connections make words stick in your long-term memory. Now, let's practice combining old words with new ones. Suppose you already know the word sad, and you learn the word devastated. You can practice by saying, "I was sad to lose my game," and then, "I was devastated to lose my game." Feel how the emotion changes. When you do this kind of variation practice every day, your vocabulary grows naturally, and you start using richer, more expressive English. One of the most effective habits to adopt right now is speaking for 1 full minute without stopping. It does not matter what the topic is. The goal is to keep going even if you make small mistakes. For example, pick a topic like "my favorite hobby" and talk about it for 60 seconds. You might say, "My favorite hobby is reading. I like it because it is relaxing, educational, and you can explore so many different worlds. My favorite genre is science fiction with space travel. I remember when I was a teenager, my father used to buy me a new book every Friday." By pushing yourself to keep talking, you are teaching your brain to keep finding words and not freezing mid-sentence. Let's try this together. I will give you a topic, and you speak for 1 minute. Your topic is the last time you ate at a restaurant. Start with when you went, where you went, what you ordered, and how it tasted. Remember, keep going. Even if you repeat a few words, repetition is better than silence. Finally, for this section, I want you to remember that fluency is a daily journey, not a single moment of achievement. Every day you speak, you are building stronger connections in your brain. Every sentence you say out loud is a step closer to thinking in English naturally. The next 30 days are going to be your training ground, so commit to showing up every single day, even for just 10 minutes. You will be amazed at what can happen in just 1 month. Let's focus now on one of the most underestimated skills in fluency, transitions. Transitions are the little bridges between your ideas. They make your speech sound smooth and connected. Without them, your sentences can feel like separate blocks, which makes conversation feel less natural. Words like "so," "actually," "by the way," "in fact," "you know," and "well" are small, but they are powerful. They help your listener follow your thoughts, and they give you a moment to think without creating an awkward silence. Let's practice. I will give you 2 short sentences, and you connect them with a transition. I love painting. It helps me focus. You could say, I love painting because it helps me focus, or I love painting and it helps me focus. Notice how the sentences flow better. Now, another example. I was hungry. I kept working. You can join them with, even though I was hungry, I kept working. Practicing these links will make your speech sound more natural and intelligent. Here is a quick exercise you can do every day. Take 5 random sentences and practice connecting them with different transitions. For example, I need to call my mom. I want to wash my car. You could say, I need to call my mom, and after that, I want to wash my car. Or, I need to call my mom, but I also want to wash my car. The more you experiment with these connectors, the more flexible and fluent you will become. Another essential part of your 30-day journey is controlling your tone. Tone is the music of your speech. It tells people whether you are excited, calm, curious, or serious. Even if your grammar is perfect, speaking in a flat tone can make you sound less confident. For example, say this sentence flatly. That's a wonderful plan. Now, say it with enthusiasm. That's a wonderful plan. You can hear the difference instantly. This is why we will include tone practice in your daily routine. Let's do it now. Repeat after me with energy. I'm so glad to see you again. I'm so glad to see you. Now try a calm tone. I'm so glad to see you. See how tone changes the feeling? In real life, adjusting your tone helps your listener feel connected to you. Fluency also depends on how you deal with words you don't know. If you can't remember a specific word, don't freeze. Use a simpler word or explain it in another way. For example, if you forget the word umbrella, you could say, the thing I use to protect myself from the rain. This technique is called circumlocution, and it is a lifesaver for keeping conversations moving. Let's practice. Imagine you can't remember the word sunglasses. Describe it. You could say, they are dark glasses I wear on my eyes to block the sun. See? You communicated the idea without needing the exact word. Practicing this skill will make you fearless in conversations because you will always have a way to express yourself. Now, we are going to work on reaction time. In natural conversation, people expect a reply quickly, not after a long pause. So, I will ask you simple questions, and I want you to answer instantly, even if your answer is short. Ready? What is your favorite color? Say your answer. Where did you last go on vacation? Say it now. What is one thing you dislike doing? Good. The more you train quick responses, the less you will overthink when you speak to real people. And here is an important mindset shift. Every conversation is practice. Whether you are talking to a friend, a colleague, or even to yourself, every moment you spend speaking English counts toward your fluency. Don't wait for the perfect moment to practice. It is happening right now. The barista at the cafe, your neighbor, the person you sit next to on the train, all of these are chances to train your fluency in real situations. For the rest of today, I want you to focus on one goal. Whenever you have an opportunity to speak English, take it. Even if it is just a greeting or a short exchange, build these small wins because they will stack up quickly over the next 30 days. Now, Let's talk about one of the most powerful habits you can develop during these 30 days: daily topic immersion. This means you choose one topic for the day and surround yourself with English related to that topic. You read about it, you watch something about it, you talk about it, and you even write about it. For example, if your topic is technology, you can read a short article about new gadgets, watch a short video about artificial intelligence, and then speak for a few minutes about your favorite devices. Immersion like this keeps your brain focused and makes learning feel purposeful instead of random. Let's do a quick practice together. Today's mini topic will be music. I will ask you a few questions and you answer them out loud. What is your favorite song and why do you like it? How often do you listen to it? Can you describe the melody and rhythm? To make this habit more effective, keep a small notebook or a notes app on your phone. When you hear or read a new word connected to your daily topic, write it down. Then, at least 3 times during the day, use that new word in a sentence. For example, if the new word is melodious, you might say, "The singing was melodious and sweet," or "I like melodious tunes in the morning." This repetition cements the word in your active vocabulary. Another powerful skill for fluency is storytelling. People love stories, and when you can tell a story in English, you not only hold attention, but you also practice structuring your thoughts clearly. Start small. Tell short stories about real events in your life. For example, last night I was cooking dinner when I heard a strange noise. It was so loud and sudden that I stopped to check the window. A cat was sitting on the fence looking at me. This simple story uses the past tense, description, and sequencing, all essential for fluency. Let's practice building a story together. I will start and you continue. Last Saturday, I went to a museum in the city center. Now add what you did there, who you went with, and what you saw. Remember, use details like colors, sounds, and feelings. This makes your story more vivid and memorable. Speaking of details, one reason some learners struggle with fluency is because they speak in very short, basic sentences. For example, "I went to the store. I bought bread. It was cheap." While this is correct, it is not very engaging. You can expand it by adding details. "I went to the store late in the afternoon because I needed to buy fresh bread. The street was busy, and the smell of baking dough filled the air. I bought a loaf of sourdough, a chocolate croissant, and a bottle of juice." Adding details not only improves fluency, but also helps you practice more vocabulary and sentence structures. Here is a daily exercise. Choose one thing you did today and describe it in 3 different ways: simple, detailed, and emotional. For example, simple: I cleaned my room. Detailed: I cleaned my room this afternoon and organized my bookshelf. Emotional: I tidied up my room this afternoon, and organizing my books made me feel productive and calm. This will train you to express the same idea at different levels of richness. Finally, for this section, remember to celebrate small improvements. You may not notice them day by day, but they are happening. That moment when you respond without translating in your head. The first time you understand a joke without asking for it to be repeated. The time you tell a story and the other person laughs. These are signs that your fluency is growing, and each one is worth noticing. Now, let's focus on training your listening and speaking skills together. Many learners separate these two, but when you combine them, your fluency grows much faster. One way to do this is through repetition practice. This is when you listen to someone speaking in English, and as soon as they finish a short sentence, you repeat it in your own voice, copying their tone and rhythm. It is similar to echoing, but you have a slight pause so you can process and then speak. This small gap lets you think about the words and structure before repeating. Let's try a short repetition drill right now. I will say a sentence, pause, and you repeat exactly what I said. I am studying new vocabulary every week. Now you. I like listening to podcasts in the evening. Now you. I am getting better at my pronunciation skills. Now you. Doing this for just 5 minutes a day can make a huge difference to your pronunciation and confidence. Another useful habit is practicing question switching. This is when you take a question someone asks you, answer it, and then switch it back to them. It keeps conversations flowing and gives you more chances to speak. For example, if someone says, "How was your day?" you can say, "It was busy, thank you. How was yours?" This not only shows interest, but also doubles your speaking practice in the same conversation. Let's do a practice round. I will be the other person. What do you usually drink for breakfast? You answer, then ask me. When was the last time you went to the cinema? You answer, then ask me. What is your favorite sport? You answer, then ask me. The more you do this, the more natural it feels to keep a conversation alive. Fluency also grows when you practice reaction phrases, short, automatic responses you can use without thinking. These include phrases like, "No way," "That's fascinating," "Oh, I didn't realize that," "Absolutely," "I know what you mean." Using these makes you sound engaged and helps you fill gaps while you think of your next idea. Try repeating after me with a natural tone. "No way. That's fascinating." "I know what you mean." "Absolutely." Now imagine someone tells you, "I just learned how to bake a cake." You could reply instantly, "Really? That's fantastic." These small reactions make your English sound alive, not robotic. We also need to work on rephrasing, saying the same idea in a different way. This is a superpower for fluency because it means you can keep speaking even if you forget an exact word or phrase. For example, if someone says, "I had a difficult time at the office," you could respond, "So, it was a bit hard for you today?" Or, "It sounds like your day was rough." By practicing rephrasing, you learn to say more with the vocabulary you already know. Here is an exercise. I will give you a sentence, and you try to say it in a different way. I am very busy. You could say, I have a lot to do. I'm swamped with work. I don't have any free time. Now, another one. The concert was good. You could say, I really liked the concert. It was amazing. It was enjoyable to watch. See how many options you can create for each idea. And finally, for this section, let's work on describing feelings and opinions. When you speak about how you feel, it creates a deeper connection in conversation. Instead of only saying, I love it, try saying why. For example, I love this restaurant because the service is so friendly and the food always tastes delicious. Adding reasons makes your sentences longer and richer, giving you more speaking practice. One of the most effective ways to strengthen your fluency is to practice speaking in different time frames. Being able to talk naturally about the past, present, and future will make you more versatile in any conversation. For the past, last week I went to the beach and saw an old school friend. For the present, I am standing on the balcony right now, watching the sunset. For the future, next month, I am going to start a new online course. Switching between these quickly is a great brain workout. Let's try it together. I will give you an action, and you say it in all 3 tenses. Action: wash the car. Past: I washed the car last weekend. Present: I am washing the car right now. Future: I am going to wash the car tomorrow morning. This type of drill keeps your grammar flexible and ready for any situation. Another area to focus on is expanding short answers into full sentences. When someone asks you, "Do you like swimming?" you could just say, "Yes," but that ends the conversation. Instead, you can say, "Yes, I like swimming because it helps me stay healthy, and I enjoy being in the water." The more you practice adding reasons, details, and examples to your answers, the more naturally you will speak for longer periods. Here is an exercise for you. I will ask you a question, and you answer with at least 2 extra details. Do you enjoy painting? Have you ever visited a foreign country? What kind of movies do you like? Take a moment to think, but don't pause for too long. Let your ideas flow, even if you make small mistakes. Another important skill for these 30 days is learning to self-correct without breaking your flow. If you make a mistake, simply repeat the sentence correctly and keep going. For example, if you say, "He have a new car," you can quickly correct yourself. "He has a new car." This shows you are aware of the grammar, but you don't stop the conversation to fix it. The more you practice this, the smoother your speech will be. To help with this, try a quick correction drill. Speak for 1 minute about any topic. Whenever you hear yourself make a mistake, repeat the sentence correctly right away. You might be surprised at how quickly your brain starts to notice and fix errors automatically. Another habit to build is speaking with emotion and personal connection. Think about how you would tell a story to a close friend. You wouldn't just list facts. You would add feelings, reactions, and little details that make it interesting. For example, I went to the beach and the sun was shining so brightly. I felt so free just swimming in the ocean and watching the waves crash. This kind of storytelling makes your English memorable and engaging. Finally, remember to challenge yourself to speak longer every few days. If you can speak for 1 minute today, aim for 2 minutes next week, then 3. It doesn't have to be perfect. The goal is to stretch your comfort zone. By the end of 30 days, you will notice that talking for 5 minutes in English feels completely normal, and that is a huge step toward fluency. One habit that will speed up your progress in these 30 days is thinking aloud in English. This means you speak your thoughts as they come, almost like narrating your day to yourself. For example, if you are walking to the bus stop, you can say, "I am walking down the sidewalk. The weather is chilly today. I can smell coffee roasting from the shop on the corner." This trains your brain to build sentences in real time without translating from your first language. If you can't speak aloud because you are in public, you can still think in English silently. Describe what you see, what you feel, or what you plan to do next. For example, after I finish this, I am going to text my brother. I need to buy some fruit for lunch. I should check my calendar before the meeting. Over time, this habit will make English your default way of thinking. Another powerful exercise is what I call stretch and extend. You take a simple sentence and add more detail to it. For example, start with, I like tea. Then expand it. I like tea because it helps me unwind in the afternoon. And extend it further. I like tea because it helps me unwind in the afternoon. And I love the floral scent that fills the room when it steeps. By stretching your sentences like this, you will naturally train yourself to speak for longer without pauses. Let's try a few more together. Start with, I enjoy running. Expand it. I enjoy running because it keeps me fit. Now extend. I enjoy running because it keeps me fit after work, and it allows me to clear my mind after a busy day. This practice is simple, but if you do it every day, your fluency will grow quickly. It is also important to notice how native speakers use fillers. Fillers are small words or sounds like, well, you know, I mean, and actually. They give you time to think without stopping completely. For example, well, I think we should leave now. You know, that song was better than I remembered. Actually, I have never seen that before. These make your speech sound more natural. But remember, don't overuse them. Let's do a filler practice. I will say a sentence, and you repeat it with a filler at the start. It's snowing today. Add well at the start. I like writing stories. Add you know at the start. I don't have money for that. Add actually at the start. Practicing this will help you insert fillers smoothly when you need a second to think. Another technique that will help you sound confident is to practice varying your sentence length. If every sentence you say is short, your speech can sound choppy. If every sentence is long, it can become confusing. The key is balance. For example, short, I love dancing. Then, long, I love dancing because it gives me the chance to express myself creatively, meet new people, and stay in shape. This natural variation keeps your listener interested. And here is a challenge for today. Record yourself speaking about any topic for 2 minutes. When you listen back, pay attention to your pauses, your tone, and your speed. Notice if you are using fillers, if you are speaking in complete sentences, and if you sound engaged. Then, record the same topic again, trying to improve just one thing. This kind of self-feedback will make you aware of your habits and help you change them faster. A great way to accelerate your fluency is to practice role-playing different situations. Role-playing lets you imagine real-life conversations and prepare for them in advance. You can act out a job interview, a hotel check-in, a small talk conversation, or even a doctor's appointment. For example, if you practice checking into a hotel, you might say, "Good evening. I have a reservation under Smith, please." Then imagine the receptionist asking, "Would you like a smoking or non-smoking room?" And you respond, "Yes, I would prefer a non-smoking room. Thank you." By practicing these scenarios, you will feel prepared when they happen in real life. Let's try one now. Imagine you are at a restaurant. The waiter says, "Are you ready to order?" You reply, "Yes, I think so." Then the waiter says, "What would you like to have?" You answer, "I will have the steak and fries, please." The more you practice these everyday exchanges, the more automatic your responses become. Another area to work on is asking follow-up questions. Many learners only answer questions but don't keep the conversation going. If someone says, "I went to the cinema last weekend," you can respond with curiosity. "Oh, really? What movie did you see?" Or, "That sounds fun. Was the theater crowded?" Follow-up questions not only give you more speaking practice, but also make you sound friendly and engaged. To train this habit, take any sentence you hear and think of 2 questions you could ask about it. For example, "I got a new job." You could ask, "What company is it with?" And, "Why did you choose that role?" Doing this regularly will make your conversations more dynamic. Fluency also depends on rhythm, the natural flow of your words. English has a pattern of stressed and unstressed syllables. Practicing with rhythm will make your speech smoother and easier to understand. For example, say, "I'm going to the bank to get some cash." Notice how certain words are stressed: going, bank, get, cash. Now, try repeating it with the same emphasis. Here is another rhythm drill. "He's working on a big report at the office." Stress working, big, report, and office. This will help you speak with a natural English cadence instead of sounding too flat or robotic. It is also important to learn how to politely pause when you need a moment to think. Instead of staying silent, you can use phrases like, "That's an interesting question. Let me think for a moment." Or, "Well, I guess." These small expressions buy you time and keep the conversation flowing naturally. Let's practice. I will ask you a question, and before answering, you use a polite pause phrase. "What is your dream travel destination?" You could start with, "That's an interesting question. I think my dream travel destination is..." This sounds confident and gives you a moment to organize your thoughts. Finally, remember that speaking fluently is not about being perfect. It is about being understood and feeling comfortable. Even native speakers make small mistakes, repeat themselves, or change words mid-sentence. What matters is that you keep going. In the next few days, challenge yourself to speak without worrying about grammar all the time. Focus on the message first. The accuracy will improve naturally with more practice. One technique that will help you sound more natural is mirroring. Mirroring means you copy not only the words, but also the body language, tone, and pace of the person you are speaking to. Of course, if you are practicing alone, you can mirror what you hear in videos or audio clips. For example, if you listen to someone saying, "I can't believe it's already Monday," you repeat it in the same speed, pitch, and style. This makes your English feel authentic and alive because you are learning the small natural patterns that native speakers use. Let's try a few. I will say them naturally, and you repeat. "That looks fantastic." "I didn't expect that at all." "I'm so looking forward to the weekend." Try to match not only the pronunciation, but the emotional tone behind the words. Another habit to develop is switching between formal and informal speech, depending on the situation. In casual conversation with friends, you might say, "Hey, what's new?" In a more professional setting, you could say, "Good afternoon. How are you doing today?" Being able to adjust your style shows that you are flexible and aware of context. Here is a quick comparison practice. Informal. "I'm going to get a pizza." Formal. "I am going to order a pizza." Informal. "Want to catch a movie later?" Formal. "Would you like to see a film later?" Switching like this will help you feel ready for any type of conversation. Another way to speed up your fluency is to train your brain to answer why and how questions fully. Many learners answer these questions too briefly. If someone asks, "Why do you like this city?" you could say, "I like this city because the nightlife is vibrant and there are plenty of museums to visit." If they ask, "How do you usually spend your evenings?" you could say, "I usually spend my evenings watching TV, playing games, and texting my friends." By adding more than one detail, you naturally speak longer and give your listener more to connect with. We should also talk about the importance of pronunciation drills. Spend a few minutes each day focusing on tricky sounds. For example, the R and L sounds in rice or light. Curve your tongue back for rice. For light, your tongue touches the top of your mouth. Practicing these small sounds makes your speech clearer and easier to understand. Let's try a quick drill. Repeat after me. Rice, run, road. Now, light, long, lake. Practice this slowly, then a bit faster until it feels natural. And remember, fluency grows when you mix speaking with active listening. When you listen to someone, notice the phrases they use and try to reuse them in your next conversation. If you hear someone say, "I've been meaning to call you," write it down and practice saying it later. This habit will constantly refresh your vocabulary with real, modern English. To end this part, I want you to set a mini goal for today. Choose one phrase you have learned here and use it at least 3 times in real conversation or in your own speaking practice. This way, it becomes part of your active English, not just something you recognize when you hear it. One of the most valuable skills for reaching fluency quickly is being able to describe things from memory. When you recall and describe something you have experienced, you strengthen your ability to organize ideas in English without relying on translation. Start with simple events: a party you attended, a gift you received, a place you visited, and tell the story in detail. For example, last Friday, I went to a new Italian restaurant. I ordered a pizza and a glass of red wine. The restaurant was noisy, and the sound of laughter made the atmosphere fun and lively. I sat near the window and watched the cars drive by. This kind of mental replay is a perfect way to combine vocabulary, grammar, and storytelling skills in one exercise. You can also challenge yourself by describing the same memory in different ways. First, keep it short and simple. Then make it more descriptive. And finally, add feelings and opinions. This trains your flexibility in expressing ideas. For example, I went to the restaurant. Then, I went to the restaurant on Friday night and had pizza. And then, I went to the restaurant on Friday night, enjoyed a spicy pizza, and felt very happy while watching the streetlights. Doing this every day will make your thoughts flow more easily in English. Another habit that will help is practicing comparisons. This is when you talk about the similarities and differences between two things. For example, cats and dogs are both popular pets, but cats are more independent, while dogs are more loyal. Comparisons not only help you practice adjectives and structure, but they also give you more speaking material. Let's try a quick comparison drill. Compare spring and autumn. Spring is warm and colorful, and flowers start to bloom, while autumn is cool, and leaves start to fall. Now compare the radio and television. The radio allows you to listen to stories and music, while television lets you see the action visually. You can do this with almost anything: animals, cars, cities, even people's personalities. It is also useful to practice giving explanations. If someone asks you a question, explain your answer instead of just stating it. For example, if you are asked, "Do you like jogging?" Instead of just saying yes, you could say, "Yes, I like jogging because it strengthens my heart, and I enjoy breathing fresh air outside." Adding explanations makes your speaking richer and more engaging. And when you explain something, don't be afraid to use examples. For instance, I think learning English through songs is effective because you can hear the rhythm. For example, I learned the phrase "hold on" from a pop song, and now I use it all the time. Examples give your listener a clear picture of what you mean and make your point stronger. Another way to boost fluency is to play the "what if" game. Ask yourself hypothetical questions and answer them out loud. For example, what if I became famous? If I became famous, I would travel to many countries, buy a big house, and help my community. These imaginary situations push you to think creatively in English and use a variety of tenses and structures. Finally, remember that the key to speaking fluently in 30 days is consistent, focused practice. You don't need to spend hours every day. Even 20 to 30 minutes of concentrated speaking, listening, and thinking in English will create huge improvements. The more you make English part of your everyday life, the faster it will feel like a natural part of you. Another simple but powerful practice is to retell something you have heard or read in your own words. This could be a short news story, a conversation you listen to, or even part of a podcast. When you retell it, you are processing the information, reorganizing it in your mind, and expressing it using your own vocabulary. For example, if you read a short article about learning skills, you could say, "The article discussed the benefits of practicing a skill every day. It explained that it helps you improve faster, builds confidence, and reduces the chance of forgetting. It also suggested taking breaks to rest." This exercise helps with both comprehension and fluency at the same time. You can make it even more challenging by retelling something from a different perspective. For example, if the article is written in the third person, you could retell it in the first person. "I practice my skill every day because it helps me improve faster, builds my confidence, and reduces the chance of forgetting. I also make sure to take breaks to rest." This adds variety to your speaking and forces you to adjust your sentences on the spot. A related habit is summarizing your day before you go to sleep. You can say, "This morning, I got up late, skipped breakfast, and ran to the bus stop. In the afternoon, I studied for my exam and took a nap. In the evening, I watched a show before going to bed." This not only gives you a daily speaking routine, but it also helps you remember and use vocabulary for everyday activities. Another effective drill is opinion building. Choose a random topic and speak for 1 minute sharing your opinion and reasons. For example, "I think people should walk more because it is healthy, free, and good for the environment. In my opinion, it is better than driving short distances." Practicing this regularly will help you develop quick, confident responses to open-ended questions. It is also helpful to combine opinion building with debate practice. Imagine someone disagrees with you and respond politely. For example, if someone says, "I think driving is better than walking," you could say, "I see your point, but I think walking gives us time to think and fresh air that driving can't provide." This teaches you to stay calm, express yourself clearly, and use respectful language even when you disagree. You can also practice fluency by describing processes step by step. For example, how to make toast. "First, I put a slice of bread in the toaster. Then, I press the lever down. When it pops up, I put butter on it. After that, I add some jam if I want." Describing a process like this forces you to think in sequence, which is very useful for structured speaking. And don't forget the importance of self-motivation. Every day, remind yourself why you want to speak English fluently. Maybe it is for career growth, travel, education, or connecting with family abroad. Keeping that reason in mind will give you the energy to practice even when you feel tired or busy. A great way to strengthen your fluency is to practice describing images or scenes. You can use photos from a magazine, pictures online, or even things you see in real life. Look at the image closely and talk about everything you notice. For example, in the picture, there is a group of friends playing soccer in the field. They are wearing red and blue jerseys, running after the ball. The sky is cloudy, and there are trees around the field. This trains you to observe details quickly and express them clearly in English. To make it more challenging, try adding a story to the image. I think these friends meet every weekend to play. They probably play for a few hours and then go for a drink together. They look very competitive, maybe because they really want to win. This forces you to use your imagination, which helps you practice a wider range of vocabulary and sentence structures. Another practice method is to set a timer and speak non-stop for 2 or 3 minutes. Choose any topic, your holiday plans, your favorite actor, or something you learned recently. The goal is to keep talking without stopping to translate or search for perfect grammar. If you can't think of the exact word, use a simpler one or explain it. Over time, this exercise builds the habit of speaking continuously, which is essential for fluency. You can also improve your speaking by practicing with contrasts. Describe 2 different things and switch between them. For example, in the summer, the days are long and hot. People go to the beach and wear light clothes. In the winter, the days are short and cold. People stay indoors and wear heavy coats. Switching between the 2 descriptions trains your brain to organize ideas quickly. An equally important skill is to work on your listening memory. Listen to a short conversation and then repeat as much as you can remember. For example, if you hear, "I'm going to the gym to do some cardio. Do you want to come?" You could repeat, "You are going to the gym to do cardio, and you asked if I want to come." This improves both comprehension and recall, which will make your responses in conversation quicker and more accurate. And finally, always remind yourself that fluency grows from consistency. It is not about one long, perfect study session. It is about showing up every single day, speaking, listening, and thinking in English. Even 5 or 10 minutes of focused practice can make a real difference when done daily. In 30 days, you will look back and realize how much more naturally you can express yourself. Another technique you can add to your daily routine is time pressure speaking. This is when you give yourself a short amount of time to answer a question or talk about a topic. For example, set a timer for 30 seconds and answer, "What did you do last weekend?" Then increase it to 1 minute with the same topic, adding more details and expanding your sentences. The time limit forces you to think quickly, while repeating the topic helps you add new ideas each round. You can also combine this with question cycling. Choose 3 questions and answer them one after another without pausing. For example, what is your favorite dessert? My favorite dessert is cheesecake because it is sweet, creamy, and I love the texture. What do you usually do on Fridays? On Fridays, I like to go out for dinner and watch a movie. Where would you like to live next? I would love to live near the ocean because of the view, the air, and the sound of the waves. Cycling like this gives you rapid practice and keeps your mind active in English. Another powerful drill is story chaining. Start with a simple sentence and keep adding details one by one, linking them smoothly. For example, I visited the museum. I visited the museum yesterday morning. I visited the museum yesterday morning to see the new exhibit. I visited the museum yesterday morning to see the new exhibit because I love history. This builds your ability to extend ideas naturally instead of stopping too soon. It is also useful to practice spontaneous descriptions of your surroundings. Wherever you are, look around and start talking about what you see, hear, and feel. I am standing in the kitchen. There is a bowl of fruit on the table. Outside, I can hear a dog barking. The room smells like vanilla. Doing this trains you to form sentences instantly about real situations, which is exactly what happens in conversation. Don't forget to mix in emotional language when you speak. Words like incredible, annoying, peaceful, and boring make your speech more colorful. Instead of saying, "The movie was okay," you could say, "The movie was hilarious, and it made me feel happy." The more you use these expressions, the more engaging your speaking will become. To end today's practice, remember that fluency in 30 days comes from 3 main things: speaking as much as possible, listening actively, and thinking in English whenever you can. Every moment you choose English over silence or your first language is a step toward your goal. Keep showing up, keep practicing, and in 1 month, you will surprise yourself with how far you have come. Before we wrap up, I want you to take a moment and think about how far you can go in 30 days if you commit to this journey. It is not about being perfect. It is about showing up every day, speaking a little more, listening a little more, and letting English become a natural part of your life. Even the smallest moments count. Buying coffee, saying hi to a coworker, or talking to yourself about what you are doing. These moments build into habits, and those habits lead to fluency. I encourage you to challenge yourself starting today. Speak to someone in English, even if it is just 1 sentence. Listen to a short English clip and repeat it out loud. Describe something around you in detail. Keep stacking these small actions day after day. You will notice your confidence growing, your words flowing more easily, and your thoughts coming to you faster in English. If you found today's masterclass helpful and you want more lessons like this, make sure you subscribe to English in Moments. That way, you won't miss any of the daily English learning videos that will guide you step by step toward fluency. And don't forget to press the bell icon so you get notified every time a new lesson is posted. Thank you for spending this time practicing with me today. I'm proud of the effort you are making for your English. Keep going, stay consistent, and I will see you in the next lesson. Until then, take care and keep speaking English every single day.